Welcome to another tip of the week, and today I'm going to talk about a few differences that you can find in Premiere and Photoshop from the 2019 version to the 2020. I'm actually making this video more in reference to my students so that they can see the difference, since I recorded most in Adobe CC 2019. So that they can know the difference. There are not a lot of differences, but I figured this would also be a good tip for those of you who use Photoshop and Premiere 2020. Changed a few things of places, okay? In addition to having new features, they also changed a few things that you're used to doing in one way to another place. It's nothing very drastic, but I wanted to show you. And this is also for my students because exactly, I want to show you the difference. I taught you how to do a lot of stuff, and I was using the 2019 version for most part of the course. And so I want to show you now where the things I taught you are, because they changed a little bit, but they're mostly the same, just a very few differences, very few. I'll show you now. So, like I said, very few differences. I showed in the course how to create a shape and how to create text, and that's mostly the difference from Premiere, okay? How to create a shape and how to create a text in Premiere. The way to create them hasn't changed. What has changed is here we were used that the text and shape controls would come down here, and they have changed the place, just the place. The shape here comes down here and usually is closed. Before that, when you created a shape, this was open, but you just have to click on the arrow here, and now you have almost the exact same controls. And I say almost because there's something new here. Before you could only use one stroke, now you can have several. I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna give this a stroke of 4. Let's give this a stroke that we can of 15. Now if I want more strokes, all I have to do is click here on the plus, and I can create more strokes. So I'm gonna give this a different color and give this 15. And you see, this is interesting. I'm gonna open this up. You can see how interesting this is, that I have a double stroke here, and I can place however many strokes I want, just clicking on the plus, or remove a stroke by clicking on the minus. And this is new. We didn't have that before, so that's a new feature. But everything else is just the same, except you have to come up here and open the arrow for the shape. And the same goes for text. You have your text up here now. You open the arrow, and you have your source. You click here, and again, might be closed here. You just click here to open, and you have your source, your fonts to change, everything the same again here. Also, you can place more than one stroke now, so you have these news, and you click here and transform, also open. So that's just, you have to look for this in a different place, but it's not that different that you're not gonna find this, okay? You're gonna come looking here in the effects panel, and you're gonna go down here. You're gonna say, where's the text? Oh, it's up here instead of down here. And you're gonna have to open because this is gonna be closed. That's the only difference, okay? In the editing workflow that I use. I'm sure there are many other small differences in a lot of stuff that we didn't actually need to use for creating online courses. But in the editing workflow that I showed you in the course, this is the only difference for Premiere that I noticed from 2019 to 2020. And the difference in Photoshop is this right here. Again, that I noticed for what I use is this right here. They changed the symbol, okay, well, for create a new layer, or when you want to duplicate a layer, that you duplicate by dragging this here to the plus instead of to a leaf. This used to be a little, the icon was a piece of folded paper. Now the icon is a plus, but has exactly the same function, which is creating a new layer or duplicating a layer. If you're dragging a layer towards this plus, this will duplicate a layer. Also on Illustrator, you see that the look changed here. You had those properties there, and the look now changed for how you control them. But this is easy. If you can't find something, come here to Window and just go and do this and click here. For instance, I want a line. Couldn't find a line. A line is here. Great. I don't like a line being dropped there, so I can just drag this here, and now a line is also here in this library. Okay, and if you close here, you still have that same look. Another difference is that Premiere stopped supporting MKV files. Okay, they don't work with MKV files anymore. I've actually added to my lecture there on OBS a little extra there to save your files in MP4. So if you have MKV files, you're gonna have to convert them to something else, to MP4 or AIV or AVI or MOV, something like that, that Premiere supports. I didn't like that because honestly I thought that was a big advantage Premiere had over, for instance, DaVinci Resolve, because DaVinci Resolve doesn't work with MKV. And MKV is a really good compression format because allows you a really high resolution, a really good image quality with a smaller file size. So in my opinion, that wasn't, again, a very smart move of Adobe to do that, but that's, you know, contracts they have with the other companies and stuff like that. But you can circumvent it. All you have to do is convert your files. Other than that, you saw that even in what changed with what I did, the layout may have changed. Maybe you're doing something else that I didn't show you here and you're not finding that. Look around, it's probably close by, okay? Because they do these layout changes to justify launching a new version every year, but they're usually not far from where you're used to finding things. I hope you enjoyed the tips. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you get interested in finding more about the course where I teach OBS Studio, Adobe Premiere, After Effects, Audition, and a bit of Illustrator and Photoshop focused on creating online courses, I'll leave a link in the description with a discount, okay? See you next week. See you then.